What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a slip float setup for jig fishing. Let's get right into it. So a few things you're going to need before you get set up is, one, a slip bobber. Now, this slip bobber is the Eagle Claw slip bobber. And the next thing you're going to need is some bobber stops. These are also the Eagle Claw bobber stops. These are the small size in the 2 to 4, and you can also get the 4 to 8 pound. There's different sizes depending on how big your line is. So the next thing you're going to need is obviously some sort of jig. This is the Power Bait pre-rig atomic tube in the grasshopper color. Fantastic little bait. So now I'm going to show you guys how to set up this float. So to set up a float for this, you're first going to need to know how to put the bobber stops on the line. Now, you could obviously tie a bobber stop knot. I don't have a video for that, but I can make one if you want to. If you want me to, I'll make one. Just let me know in the comments if you want to see that. And if you got these bobber stops, it's really simple. I have a few taken off here, but I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Let's go. Now, folks, if you already know how to make a bobber stop, then you could just skip this portion of the video and go to the next part, but it's fairly simple. You just stick, now this is a lighter line, this is 4-pound line, and you're going to stick it through this metal hole in the wire there, and you're going to see that it's like that. Now, after you've got it through, you're going to put this side and pull it tight like this. The next thing you're going to do is move that line, the wire back, and you're gonna basically push that bobber stop up the wire, and it's basically clamping and tightening that line up with yours. Now you see my hand there, that wire's clamped down instead of being wide open. Now it is on your line. Now that it's on your line, next step you're gonna do is go till this part ends. Just gonna pull, and just like that, the bobber stop is on your line. Fairly simple, really easy to do. And then after you got that, there's going to be a little bit of memory in that line, so you're just going to clip that. Now, the next part is really simple, so I'm just going to show you guys that. Let's go. So, the next step in setting up this float system is using your slip bobber. Now, if you don't have the Eagle Claw slip bobbers, these are a lot smaller and they have not such a wide hole for you to put your line through. But if you have one that's got a lot wider of a hole there for you to put the line through, you use a bead. You would attach a bead, and the bead will slide up on the line, so you don't gotta worry about it. It'll slide all the way down to here. But what that bead does is it makes it to where your bobber, while it's sliding, it won't slide up and go through that bobber stop. It won't go right through that bobber stop right there. Because if it's sliding, that bobber, and the hole's bigger than the actual bobber stop here, it'll keep sliding past the bobber stop, and you're not going to be able to fish the depth that you want. It's just going to take your bait right to the bottom. So now, fairly simple. You just find the top part of the bobber and you just feed your line through until it reaches the other side. Okay, I'll see you guys in a sec after I get this line through. Now, just a sec before you jump to the next step, there's this little hole right there, and you want your line to be coming out of this other side, and that's how you know that you've done it right. So if you've done it right, you have the line poking out the other side and also on this side. Now you can see it slides up and down the line just like an egg weight or bulla weight is with a Carolina rig. Now the next step is to take your jig and just tie whatever knot is your favorite. Now, I like to tie the uni knot. Never broken a fish off with this knot, so I'd like to call it my lucky knot. So after you tie your knot, you are pretty much done. So I'll see you guys in a second, and I'll show you guys the completed rig if you did it right. Let's go. So this is the completed rig once you are done. you basically have your bobber that slides up and down the line, and then you got your bobber stop, and you could obviously move this bobber stop to any depth. See, if you want it shorter, you move it down the line. If you want it longer, you move up the line. And what happens is when it's underwater, this line is going to free fall when it's slacked, and that bobber is going to float up all the way until it reaches the tip of this bobber stop.